Hello from Bug Eye Guy. This is a very cool car. This is actually one of my favorite cars that we've done this year, and it's just been here for a couple of months getting completely made over, and it's just about the perfect Bug Eye. And why is that? Well, you could have your Immaculate 100 like this one, which happens to be a similar vintage, 1956. Fantastic, stellar, show quality car, just so beautiful and immaculate. Or you could have a Bug Eye, which was in fact intended to be kind of the everyman sports car, and when they get patinaed like this, they just seem to be a perfect fit. So don't get me wrong, we do beautiful Bug Eyes here all the time, high dollar restorations, as nice as that 100, but this one just has the right amount of everything. It's just it's really an example of what can be done with an inexpensive British classic sports car that's then brought up to speed with some nice touches that you get to enjoy, like a nice cockpit and interior, and things like a custom faceplate for a British Motor Corporation period AM radio. It's a negative ground car, so this isn't hooked up, but it is there just to look cool. And I think we pulled it off. Here's the steering wheel protector is on so we don't damage it, but this beautiful wooden steering wheel and everything, you know, an incredible twin-tipped exhaust system and LED lights which are super bright, and new switches as needed, and an ignition guillotine, and so I'll show you the LEDs in a minute. This beautiful wood wheel, an air horn, and a GPS speedometer, electronic tachometer. This is the insert in the shift knob so that you get a nice, precise and tight. You know, really what we're looking for is a car that you can wear and feel like it fits you perfectly. And so when you go to reach the shift knob and it's floating on its rubber washer or cup, there's a rubber insert in the factory version. Most of them have dried out by now, but we made an aluminum insert so that you have a very precise and direct connection with your car through your hand and through your feet and the pedals and the action. And then we have a nice matching tan 3-point belt that comes over your shoulder so you feel that much more at one with the car, and new door pockets. You know, we didn't polish the cockpit trim. You can see there are some scratches, but it's fine, it's good enough. Most of them are scratched, but we dressed it up so that it's got, I think, just the right amount of elegance. This beautiful tonneau fit around a roll bar with a neoprene sock over it to make it a little bit more finished. And then here are those LED lights that we sell in our catalog. Everything that you see here we sell in our catalog, but in the case of this car, we had an opportunity to throw, 50 different accessories at it. This is the larger rear view mirror that we use as well. And then we have this very fancy flip forward nose setup, which I'll show you in a minute, and some matching tan hold down straps and new mini lights and 165 tires. The stickers on the wheel caps that we sell, there are those LED park lights. I'll show you the LED headlights that we also fit. You should be able to see that's a much whiter and hotter looking front end. Those LED bulbs in the headlights they're not only brighter, but they're whiter instead of the original yellow. So all in all, you have this super, I just think it's spectacular. This grille, when it came to us, was hooked. It was bent in a hook, but we managed to straighten it out and hammer it back into position. And so again, it's all rusted and pitted. Yeah, we do sell new chrome ones. This is the right grille for the car, the right patinaed badge, the right Marcal or CBA. These are really cool lenses that we sell in our catalog, and it just looks like it's 1974 and this is the hottest Bug Eye in town, and it makes a beautiful noise. And I'll show you all of that in the next sections. So under the hood we have, of course, a new master cylinder. That's pretty common. We have a new premium battery. You can see a new heater valve. This is pretty common that these will get seized. You see our aluminum radiator with the right 7-pound cap. That's key. Most of the radiators that are out there that are aluminum come with too much pressure in the cap, and you tend to blow out your bypass hose in there, but we've taken care of that. This is a 6 or 5 pound cap. There's an exhaust header, brand new SUH S2 carburetors, so you get rid of a lot of the reliability issues that stem from the fact that you have a mismatched pair of grandpa's old carburetors that somehow got swapped a dozen times, and they're always worn unevenly. So you start with new ones and you get a much more reliable run quality, and that's really nice. And then here's that flip forward nose kit put into practice. Now we have been writing about this issue of flex, and they do all flex. Remember, you're going from hinges that are this far apart to hinge points that are that close as the horns on the front, and those horns are almost always bent. So what we did in this one, and we had the luxury because we didn't have new paint, we could weld this without burning the paint, but they were also often split at these joints. So we fixed the split, we built in a stay rod to add some more rigidity. We also welded here. We had to weld a stop on here because this was all modified. This radiator arm was damaged in one of its old crashes. There's a sway bar that we use as well, and new rack boots, new shocks, 6-blade fan, alternator conversion kit. So those struts support the nose much better. Still has some flex, but it's way better than it was before we started. Anyway, alternator kit, spin-on oil filter, electronic ignition, and new cap, new wires, new rotor, premium rotor. This little oil hose, you want to make sure that that does not crack and dry out. New correct starter cable and the original choke. These are the correct choke style and starter style. Remember, these knobs, these are the right knobs. This is the way they came from the factory. Some other companies make this awful flat knob. You want all these to match. I think that's part of the fun. CWHS, all the good stuff. New wiring harness. This is actually a dummy regulator with a fuse in it, because the alternator, there's no need for a regulator. New brake light switch. And then we've also fused the dip switch harness so that we don't have any issues with that. That's now a nice upgrade that we're adding to make sure that if it shorts, it doesn't burn the harness. So all of these things, there's just, you know, new gasket here, a new gasket here that's foam, and new wiper blades and arms, on and on. Under the car, there's another long list of stuff. Rear shocks, radius arms. That's what makes a genuine build. And let's go for a drive. So once you get in this very special Sprite, I think the first thing you notice is these gorgeous custom seats. Now we overstuff these. It's something we hadn't tried before, but we used a cotton material as a fill over the foam, which is actually mimicking the original. So we used, it's got much more plump pleats than normal, and it actually shows. It's a very comfortable seat. These were very minimalist seats when they were new. By the way, it also has new doorknobs and new side curtain screws. I'll make sure those aren't rattling. But again, then you're taken by how simple this is and the tactile experience of just this gorgeous wood wheel, very tight shifter, very nice, compact, but roomy enough cockpit. And our goal all along was to produce a car that tracks well, handles well, sounds great, has great power. There's a brand new 1275 engine that we've built and replaced the 948. And Jim, who owned this car, I think since the 70s, hasn't even driven it yet, and he's not going to recognize it. It's such a great, tight, and capable sports car, which hopefully you can see from the camera mounted on the door here. The roll bar is in the way, but let's go in, so I can't put it behind me, but let's go for a drive, and hopefully you can enjoy with me this wonderful Bug-Eye Sprite from Bug-Eye Guy. This is our twin tip muffler, by the way, which we've sold many of these in our catalog. It's a great noise. car, you can loaf along like that without really getting on it, or